Hey guys, it's the Bat. I'm back again with another video, three-part video actually. I've been actually pretty busy. Went to a couple different comic book shops in the area and got some good sales on dollar books. And I finally found what is now my niche as far as comics are concerned. What really intrigues me now as far as comics. Is dollar bin diving, actually. And it's not for, I don't know, certain key books or whatever, but it's just oddball. I like oddball books, and my biggest thing that I'm really getting into is actually hunting for newsstands or early direct edition comics. Uh, because it seems like even though you can see that right now newsstands edition of books are like hot right now. A lot of people that I notice when I go into comic book shops and that are digging through the bins, they're not really paying attention to newsstands or early direct editions. It's like they're just looking for key books. And I was at this shop this weekend and I was watching the guy kind of next to me how he was going through looking at comics. Look for comics in the dollar bins. And I mean, he must have had either a bionic eye or bionic or computerized brain. He was flipping through those books so fast. It's like I could tell he was looking for certain key books. And me, I'm more slow. I'm more slow. I tend to take a stack of books out, look through them from each book I look at top to bottom. I look at the actual physical image of the book, and if it's something that I like, then definitely look at the bottom to see if it's a newsstand, uh, depending on the year, or early direct edition. And if it's a DC comic, I look for DC Universe books as well as the direct versus newsstand. Um, and let's get started with this because it's a three-part video. I picked up a lot of books for roughly $150. Now, this first video is basically books that I picked up because of uh, it drew my attention. There's no newsstands in this particular video. These are just books that I dig, or something about them drew me to them, and I grabbed them. So let's get started. Swamp Thing #1 from Vertigo title. I picked that one up. I didn't have that at the time when it came out, and when I saw this in the dollar bin at the shop that I go to, I picked it up. They have a special. Uh, Books in the dollar bin or a dollar, or you can get 15 for 10. So I mean, it's even better for me just to keep buying books. I picked up another copy of Wildstorm's Jenny Sparks, issue #1. Deadpool from his first series, number 29, and number 28. The Supernaturals I picked up. They only had issue #4, and no, that's issue #3. I'm sorry, and issue #4. Let me ask you something. Okay, this is something that I find awful funny. Now, when I went into the comic book shop the other day, there was nobody in the area that I was in as far as the dollar bins, and it's a pretty good stretch of boxes, at least 20 in a row, straight down. And on the other side, there's another row of maybe 20. This is the exclusive comic industry preview edition of Glamour Puss. So I'm in there basically by myself rifling through the dollar books. Okay, this guy comes in out of all 40 boxes, minus the box that I'm looking through. Why does he come directly beside me and start looking at comics? Does that happen to y'all? Because this seems like it happens to me a lot. I mean, they have the whole entire area to start looking for from comics, but they want to get next to you while you doing your thing. They right there, and it's like it's kind of off putting because of the fact that you know I like to have my space, room. And I'm like, I mean, golly day, it's so many areas you could have went to. Why come directly beside me and start digging through comic books? It just doesn't make sense to me, but it happens a lot. You wouldn't believe. But this is the exclusive comics industry preview edition of Glamour Push. This book is roughly a $10 book, and it's exquisite. There's no text, no nothing whatsoever. And I also found this, the Books of Magic. Number one, I think that's the special D cover. That's a $10 book. Anytime I see this in the dollar bins, I pick it up. I got a lot of copies of Super Sons. I love the Super Sons. And the cartoon that just came out was so good. I really enjoyed it. You know, hopefully in the future they can exist again. I don't know. I don't know. They should never have been messed with or tampered with from the get go. I think that was an injustice to the stories that could have been told between the two and the dynamic with their fathers. And it never got a chance for Superman to bond really with his son. The whole thing made Superman look like a bad father to me, as far as his son. And now he's back, and that they're going to. I guess they're going to explore the conflict between John and his two adopted siblings, knowing that Superman had more time basically with them than he did with him. So I mean, it's interesting, but I still would rather see Damian and John together um, as the young world's finest pair. Punisher Armory number one. This book I have a hard time finding. I couldn't believe I found this in a dollar bin. I got issue number 3, but I couldn't find volume 1 for nothing. And that's a great, I think that's a Jim Lee cover. It looks like Jim Lee. Sensational Spider-Man. I just like the way that cover looked with the black cat lurking over top of Spider-Man. Batman issue 3. That book is like a $10-15 book. Night of the Living Dead Prelude was interesting. I tried to look it up. I couldn't find it anywhere, so I don't know if this has any value or not. Superior 7. Interesting book from one of the lesser known indie companies. I think this was a black owned company that put out this book back in the day. I don't know. I can't tell if this is issue number 4 or whatever. I didn't look inside. This one brings back a lot of memories. I remember when this book came out. It's a $15 book too. Adolescent radioactive black belt hamsters. With the success of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it seemed like everybody started jumping on the bandwagon, making their version of turtle knockoffs. You had the geriatric something, and I think it was a couple more that had came out. This one I was real happy to find, the first Appleseed from Eclipse. I mean, these books are immaculate. From what I understand, the owner of the shop had gotten in multiple collections, and he was just rifling through stuff, putting it in dollar bins. He actually, down in the basement where he keeps his dollar bins, he had like 13 fresh long boxes down there, and he just constantly keep putting more stuff down. Um, I noticed that in the shop, he's a real nice guy, but they seem more into pulling out the keys, the major keys, and kind of like the other lower set keys. They don't really put as much effort into, which is fine with me because I like to dig. I love to dig. I picked this one up. Didn't really pay too much attention to it, but I got it anyway. It was a $4.99 book at when you first bought it, but for $1 less, I couldn't pass it up. Plus, I like Kyle Rayner, Green Lantern. This was hot at one time. Supergirl number 16 from the New 52, with the Flash appearance, just because it was a Flash appearance. And at the time, both of them were currently on the CW. As well as with this book, Supergirl number 5, when Rain showed up on a television show, this book jumped. But these books are basically falling back down to cover price, or maybe a little bit more than cover price. And issue number 1 of Supergirl from the New 52, issue number 1, Animal Man from the New 52. This was in the dollar bins. I didn't have this variant cover of Catwoman, issue number 24. So I went on ahead and grabbed it. Anytime I see these in the dollar bin, I grab them. Adam Hughes cover for Supergirl number 1, Rebirth. Gotham Academy number 1, grab those. That fell off. It still has a little bit of value, but it's not like what it was. This is getting hot because of James Gunn announcement with what he wants to do with the DC as far as cinematic wise. We'll just have to wait and see. I have reservations as far as what was actually talked about, but I mean, it is what it is. We'll see. I'm not making no opinions until I actually see something. But I do have a major sticking point with, well, it's not even worth talking about, but moving on. Green Lantern, issue number 1. I passed this one up back when it came out. I didn't necessarily like the cover, jacked up Hal Jordan. I mean, he's too muscular. I mean, it's weird muscular for him. He looks like Hal Jordan was never a bodybuilder. But I understand it. Artistic license. Nightwing Zero. Anytime I see any of these, I normally pick them up. And I think I'm at the point where I have them ad nauseum. So I think I'm going to slack off of them a little bit. This, to me, is one of the most underrated stories ever written. This is such a great story of the death of Superman in the dark multiverse. And in this story, Lois is so distraught over the death of Clark that she goes to the Eradicator. The Eradicator gives her superpowers, almost Kryptonian level. And her grief is so bad that she makes bad judgments. She starts killing people, and I mean, she becomes more of a threat to the world than actual help. And it's up to the heroes to take her down, and it's just sad all the way around. And it's a great book. It's a great read. I have a couple copies of this, and finding a dollar bin, I couldn't pass it up. That's just how much I like this story. The great story. Oh yeah, the all red Mulligan X-Force comics. These are hard to find. A lot of people are collecting these. It was a short run, and a lot of people, when it first came out, didn't really pay no attention. I didn't really pay no attention to it. but it's like more like a cult type following than actual it being worth a lot of money. This is issue number 118, issue number 120, issue number 122, 124. I like that cover. 126, 127, and that's it. It didn't have the one with the first appearance of Duke, but I do have that, so I was happy that I did have it. Planet of the Apes #1. I have a copy of this, but it didn't have the other half of it like that. Mine was just a plain cover, illustrated. The cover was done by Dale Keown. If you don't know who Dale Keown is, he did great work on the Incredible Hulk back when he first appeared as Professor Hulk, and his art style to me was so good on the Hulk. And I was digging in the box a little further, and I found a pink copy of it, of issue #1 of Planet of the Apes. Found a variant copy of Venom. Oh, not Venom. Spider-Man 2099. They called it, well, the top says Venom 2099, but it's actually Spider-Man 2099, issue number 38. Bloodshot Zero. Couldn't pass that up. Out of the Vortex, issue #1 from Dark Horse Comics. Punisher Euro Hit. I have quite a few of these. In this issue, it has a gentleman named Nigel. Oh man, I can't remember his last name. I think it was Higgins. He's the Punisher in England, he calls himself the Outlaw, but he's a black man, and he helps the Punisher while the Punisher is in England, and that's it. I found this ash can of the Punisher from, I think this is 2016. I just like the cover because it's done by Joe Kubert, or Kurbert, whichever way you want to pronounce it. The Destroyer. This book got hot. I don't understand. I understand they're supposed to be doing a new movie or whatever. Remo Williams. I was glad to find that. Chicks, issue #1 from Image, which is a very interesting book. I thought it was a Adam Hughes cover, but it's actually all different artists of each one of these. Will basically have their own story, except for I think these are all one story, and she's a separate story. But it's Terry Dodson who did these. I can't remember who did the other character. She, Black, White, Red. This is a beautiful book. I looked on the inside of it. The outside and inside, the interior and exterior was done by J.G. Jones. Beautiful book. The art is just impeccable. Impeccable art. Maxi Mage. From Extreme Studios. Issue #2, and when I got it, it had this on the front cover with the comic. When I rebagged it, I put the card in the back, so as not to make a imprint on the cover of the book. Trancers, issue #1. I think it's related to the movie of the same name. Ultimate 8. I always pick this up because this is a weird book. It's Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, brother and sister, but they have a weird relationship in the Ultimate Universe. They're more than, they act more than brother and sister. This great Frank Cho cover for Ms. Marvel, issue number 4. Picked that up just because of this Frank Cho cover. Adventure Comics. This book was kind of hot because it reprints I guess, the first meeting of Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes. Omega Man. Oh man, I find these in the dollar bin all the time. Issue number 1. So I just grabbed 2 more of them. This one interested me because of who it is. It's Mobius Comics. This is issue number 2. As you can see, it's got some problems with, I don't know, like coffee stains or grease or whatever. But I still wanted it because it was a Mobius. And I picked this wizard up because it seems to be the hot thing going on right now with Superman Blue, with John Kent actually becoming Superman Blue. I wonder if he has an alternate version of him that will be Superman Red. Who knows? And the last book that shown from this part 1 of 3 parts is I picked up The Butcher, issue number 1, by Mike Baron. And that's it. But yeah, I mean, it's just funny how people act in the comic book shop. It just truly amazes me how it just seems either they watch what I've been doing, or even with the comic book owners now, like if I take books out, it could be a book that's insequential. It doesn't have anything other than a cover that I like. I see now they're starting to price check everything that I bring up, it kind of sets me off a little bit, because they know I know how to pick comics. I've got quite a bit of valuable comic books from the dollar bins, and once they saw what I was getting, I guess they like double check me every time I come up with something. I mean, it's okay. It is what it is. But just have to step up my game. So that's basically it for part 1. Hope you enjoyed the video, and hope you're looking forward to the rest of the parts that are coming up. The next 2 parts will be the newsstand books that I picked up. I picked up quite a bit. I was really surprised what I found. Hope everybody is well in the community, and see you next time. Bad out.